and we have a guest in the studio. Number 3,
MD.
Matt Davison.
Not Eric Warfield. I mean,
Leota's Flowers.
I got credited for some tackles that Warfield made on special teams. At the end of the game, I'd be looking at the stat sheet. I'd be, I had 2 tackles on a punt. That was great.
I remember those ones.
E-Dub looking at you like, you stole you're stealing, right?
Yeah. Oh, they fixed it. I'm sure they fixed it. Good to see you, boys.
MD, good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me in.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I think I've known both of you guys for like almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Gosh.
25 for sure.
Look at Nick. Look at Nick over there. He's
23 years old.
23 years
Right.
old.
Yeah.
Right, but that's right. There'll be a day where people can't say that to me, and I'll be all right.
Well, hopefully you don't die.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Dang, all right.
You want to rephrase that and say, in 28 years, I hope people are saying that to me. That's what you want to say.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys having me in. When I heard you guys were doing a show together, I knew it would work. You guys are both good dudes, and this isn't easy.
No.
And I knew you guys would do a great job. I listen when I can, and so congrats on the success.
Appreciate it. I actually wanted to kill Raph when he got me into this first time. I was like,
what am I doing?
Yeah, like this is we are not. The friendship is heavily tested right now.
Yeah.
MD, I tell you what, man, it is a big weekend in Husker
It
athletics,
is,
man. Tell us first of all, tell us the kind of the schedule. What's going on?
Yeah. So, we've been trying to do something like this for quite a while, and in the last few months, obviously there's been alignment with the athletic department. Troy Dannon came in here and had a vision of what he wanted this to look like. He looked at 1890, said, okay, I like what I see here. How can we work better together? And so, I knew when NIL hit that events like we're doing tomorrow night are things that Nebraska can be better at than other places that can help us with NIL.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had this idea of maybe having an open practice somehow, maybe in multiple sports. I think we will do this, and hopefully in other sports moving forward. But tomorrow night it's an open practice. We go to Coach Rule, and I was like, Coach, I know like practice is a big deal, and a lot, opening it up to everybody is not always what coaches like to do, but maybe early in fall camp when you're just doing regular install, a lot of fundamentals, things like that. Is there a way we could open the stadium, have people come in and have a chance to peek at the team and maybe pay, to get in with all the money going back to NIL and go to the student athletes? He was all in from the start. And then Troy Dannon was in, and then it's like, okay, how do we put this together? So we work with Tyler Kai, everybody in Husker Athletic Fund, and everybody in the athletic department. How can we make this work? I wish we had a longer lead up to it. It's only been 3-4 weeks here. But we've sold quite a few tickets. We didn't really know what to expect, know, but essentially tomorrow night, at 5:30, the doors open at Memorial Stadium. They'll start warming up around 6. We'll have full concessions.
Oh, wow.
And the big screens will be on. Coach Rule has been awesome. There's going to be some really cool things for the people that come. They're going to have a really cool experience, kind of a behind the scenes, some interviews, some things that are going to happen on the big screen that are going to be unique. And so I thank everybody that's helping make this happen. If you want to buy tickets, you have to buy them today by 5:00, and it's huskers.com/tickets. And so hopefully a lot of people go and show up and know that 100% of the money that we raise tomorrow night goes back to the student athletes.
Yeah, I keep on telling the listeners too that this is a real practice. This counts against their practices before the first game. So even though there's going to be, fun there tomorrow night and interviews like that, it's still going to be a serious practice.
Absolutely. They're going to get a lot done. And I mean, we've been through hundreds of practices, right? And I don't know, sometimes when there's people there, it gives you a little more juice sometimes, right?
Yes.
So I don't know, it might be good for the players. It's always good to be in the stadium, and it might start to get dark late where they have the lights on, right? And you catch punts and do some stuff. 3 of the first 4 games are night games, right? So getting that work in the state, I'm not the coach, but we did discuss that, like catching punts and kicks and just seeing where the lights are, especially young guys that haven't done it. All that experience, they'll do other night practices, obviously this fall camp, but they're going to get work done for sure. And people are going to see an actual practice. They're not just going to be out there running around like it's a football camp or something. I mean, this is a real deal. And I think it's going to be really exciting for the people that come.
Matt, I was going through it. I want to make sure I get this correct. You look at a whole different regime with Troy Dannon. Okay, totally different regime. What's I'm not even gonna say what approach you guys use, but that transition from having a whole different regime and knowing the importance of NIL.
Right.
Because people can say whatever they want. It's kind of like the new NFL rule right now. You don't have to like it. It is what it is.
It is.
So how smooth of a transition was it? What are some things you guys did to get Troy Dennon on board? But really, from what it sounds like, he was from day one, he was like, this has to happen.
Yeah.
How smooth, I'm gonna put it this way. How much easier did it make you guys' job at the collective, knowing you have an AD in here now and not saying anything about past, but just saying right now that says, hey, you know what? This has to work.
Yeah. I mean, well, obviously it's been great for 1890. It's great for our student athletes. I knew when I met Troy and we had, early talks like day one, it was when I knew he was all in on NIL before he got to Nebraska. I knew that was a good thing, right? Like at Washington, he was all in, and at Tulane, they were doing everything they could. And so when I knew he was all in on NIL, I thought he would like the structure we have at 18. I thought he would look at what we have, the people we have behind it, the support that we have through Sandhills Global. I thought he would like what he saw. And then if he wanted to make some tweaks, great. And that was the case. And so he's like, how do we work together? How do we make this better? And so really it was fairly seamless from the start. I feel like we all have the same goals, right?
Right.
And here's what I'm telling everybody. It's as you said, it is what it is. The universities that have the athletic department and the collective unified and aligned and are ready to for any change that comes about are the ones that are going to have the most success.
Right.
And I knew NIL was going to be good for Nebraska overall in the landscape of college athletics, specifically football, and men's basketball. And so it has been good for Nebraska. And as we try to retain the best players and attract the best players, we obviously need contributions. Right. And absolutely. So that's what it comes down to. And that's why we're trying to think of creative ways to get more people involved. And that's why these practices like tomorrow night are a way for people to contribute to 1890, also get an experience, take your kids, take your family down to a game. And you have to buy the tickets, but you know that it's going to go support the product on the field. And so it's a way for a lot of people to get involved. Troy has been great. He has a great vision for what he wants this to look like. Nobody knows what NIL is going to be in 18 months or 24 months, but whatever comes our way, we're going to be ready for it. I know that. And communication has been great. And that's key as things are changing.
I remember sitting up there, I mean, even in Memorial Stadium at Troy Dannon's introductory press conference. And he mentioned you guys, right? Like that was when I think everybody kind of took note of, all right, this guy's a forward thinker and he kind of gets it. He gets it, which is so valuable in college athletics today, because there's not many people that truly get a grasp of what it's about.
Right. I mean, I love that press conference.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
He's like, I watch it every morning.
Best press conference.
He's like, I'm going to wear 1890 gear here. Coaches are going to wear 1890 gear. Players are going to wear it.
I mean, the awareness, right? And for our fan base and for everybody that, whether you like it or not, the educational piece is difficult for us. And there's so many people I think want to help, don't know how. 1890nebraska.com is our website. It kind of explains it there. If you have questions, email us. We need everybody. We have monthly recurring subscriptions that start at $10 a month. I mean, we need thousands of people giving $10 a month, and you get a magazine delivered to your house just for $10 a month, every month. You get our newsletter, you get some behind the scenes things that we provide to you. And then obviously things go up from there. We need to get as many people on board as we can. And with the branding of the university now wearing our logo and, us co-branding some things and working on events together, I think that shows our fan base that, okay, we have the blessing, I guess, of the athletic department, that this is what we need you to support right now, 1890. And those are Troy Dannon's words. Those are, Matt Rule and the coaches, Fred and everybody, wearing 1890 stuff and saying, okay, NIL is important, and letting our fans know how they can help.
So
go ahead, Ralph.
I was going to ask you, so you probably get asked all the time, where do you see this going in like the next 5 years?
Yeah.
But let's do it differently. Let's go back, 3 years now you've been doing 1890 Nebraska? Or
2 years, but NIL's been 3.
Okay, so 2 years you've been doing this. So your vision 2 years ago compared to what it turned into, is this what you expected, or did you expect something different?
Man, good question. there's been so many small things that have changed with laws, the state law, always trying to look around the corner on what might be down the road is what keeps us up at night. But at the same time, not being frozen by indecision now, like be as good as we can now. And then, as things change, be good at that too. I kind of hoped 2 years ago that we would be working with athletics the way we are now.
Yeah.
And some things have changed. I think things have loosened up a little bit from an athletics perspective that has allowed them to do some things that weren't allowed maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago. But certainly, I mean, we're doing joint meetings with donors now, right? Like we're going out and meeting with people and saying, hey, we're aligned. The messaging is the same.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened, right? And that's what I hoped would have happened. And so we're in a position now where the sky's the limit. Really. And I tell people this all the time, but when we were all going to college and looking at where we wanted to play, it was, where do I want to live? Who's the head coach? Who's your position coach? What's the scheme? What do I want to study? Facilities, right? All these things were a piece of the pie. And now you have the NIL piece of the pie. And you better be good at that too, or you're not going to be good. And to some families, it's a really big deal. Some, it's maybe not as a big deal, but you better be good at it as a whole.
Right.
And so we need to be good at this as a school to be relevant in college athletics moving forward.
MD, what do you say to, I just want to keep it here at Nebraska, but there are other programs around the country who have not necessarily gravitated towards it or have been slow to. And me personally, man, it's just me. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the movie in Taken. Good luck. Because it is. I mean, this is something to where, like you mentioned, when you're in alignment with the athletic department and your collective, bro, the door is open.
Yeah.
How have you, obviously I don't want you to get into too specifics about it, but because you guys and gals are on one accord now, how much easier has that made your job?
It's made it more exciting, and it's certainly more fun to work, with everybody. And we had great relationships over there before, right? Like I was talking to the head coaches on a weekly basis, right? All the 8 head coaches that I'm working with. And so great relationships there, the Husker Athletic Fund, compliance, great relationship, media with Keith Mann. So, so many really good relationships. And now to be like literally having meetings in the stadium every week and them coming to 1890 and going out to lunches and dinners and traveling around the country together in some cases. It just, it's just more fun, and everybody is moving in the same direction, which makes things better. And to your point though, it's not that way everywhere. And there's still some reluctant, athletic departments to work with collectives. Maybe collectives aren't working the way that maybe an athletic department wants to. And so look, we're trying to operate as a business the best we can with the guidance of the athletic department and taking Troy Dannon's leadership and his vision and saying, okay, how can we fit this with what Coach Rule wants, what Fred needs, what Troy needs and wants out of the collective. And then as things change, we're going to be ready for it.
Go ahead, Rev.
So I don't know if you can divulge or not, but do you know about how many tickets have been sold so far and how long they got today to purchase tickets for tomorrow night?
So I don't know how many have been sold. I haven't seen the numbers in a few days. I was traveling most of this week. So I don't know exactly what to expect. And we didn't know what to expect, right? It's like, you open up a practice, like, okay, with 3 or 4 weeks to push the thing, I would say we're going to have a few thousand people there. It's going to be, really cool for those that do come. And I don't know the total exactly now, but $25 a ticket. And so if people still want to buy them, please do and come down, and just know that whether there's, 500 people or 1,000 or 2,000, whatever it is, all of that money is going to 1890 to help us retain and attract the best athletes.
And it's till 5 o'clock tonight they can purchase tickets.
That's right. Yep.
5 o'clock tonight, 18 Nebraska. Go ahead.
I think that's such a big piece, because you keep on, and we've heard the commercials and everything like that, and we've talked about it extensively about how where the money's going, and you've mentioned that a couple of times. Just overall, when we're talking about the changing landscape in college athletics, the ever evolving landscape, transparency is so important. And you go back to not only what you guys do, but also the people that are in place, Matt Rule and Troy Dannon. The transparency piece. I mean, I was out at Big Ten Media Days. Troy Dannon just spoke a couple of days ago. they're very upfront and honest as they can be, and transparent with, I think, Nebraska fans, because a lot of people, if you're not in this every day, you have no idea how to quantify it or anything about it.
That's right. I mean, look, everybody has busy lives and things going on, right? It's not like everybody's paying attention to NIL every day. And that's why, branding and marketing and, me coming on this show, and thank you for having me on, like all these things we can do to try to educate people, let them know how this thing works is really important for us. And having Troy and the coaches out talking about 1890 and their trust in us, hopefully makes your listeners, the fans around the country, feel good about supporting 1890 and that we're doing the best we can. I mean, we're literally in place to serve the coaches and the athletic department to try to get them to be in the best position they can to be successful. That's why we're here.
Temperatures. Somebody has asked what the temperature is going to be tomorrow. I think by that time tomorrow, 94 is the high. But it won't be 94 because it'll cool down.
Yeah, by 6 o'clock. And we're going to start in the West Stadium, right? So you have shade over there, in the evening. So
Ron, that's a good question too. I want to repeat this, and Matt, real fast here though too. I think it was big. The fan membership options, which is awesome. $10 a month, folks, get you an 1890 magazine subscription, exclusive access to the newsletter for only $25. 1890 subscription, newsletter, free T-shirt, and $50 a month. The magazine, the newsletter, T-shirt, and the Yeti tumbler, and then they have ones that go on from 100 to 500 to 1,000 too.
Yeah,
I really love these tiers because it's kind of like if you want to get really exclusive content, $10 a month.
That's right.
$10 a month.
That's right.
As far as that goes, $10 a month, what, $120 a year? Some folks will kick that out in a weekend.
Right?
For me, it's usually me Venmoing people my golf when I lost in golf.
I'll say that's one round.
I mean, the end of this month, the magazine's going to show up at their house, right?
Oh, wow.
Right the week of the first game, and they're going to open it up hopefully and see some really cool stuff.
And it's a sharp magazine.
Interviews and
Let me ask you: is there a digital option as well?
Yes, so they'll get that emailed to them as well.
That's how we do it.
And so it's and they're supporting the program, right? So we're trying to make it as easy as we can for our fans. We understand, everybody's level of giving is different, and we appreciate everything, and everything matters. And we need we need 10,000. Then 15,000, then 20,000 people helping at whatever level they possibly can. That's why Nebraska can be really good at this.
I love it. Awesome.
Appreciate you guys. Remember, huskers.com/tickets for tomorrow night.
Huskers.com/tickets until 5 p.m. Folks, get there. It's going to be an amazing experience. And as MD Matt Davison said, 100% of proceeds go towards University Athletics. MD, thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Brother.
Thanks, guys, for having us on.